Check, check.
Test, 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 test.
Welcome everybody to episode 19.
Hey,
Buko
I'm DVO.
Boys. And I'm Dale.
And we're in the DVO studio.
Oh, the DVO studio.
That's right.
Buko Boys. Live at ya.
All right.
Or live action.
It is live action. So, hey guys, listen, over the weekend, Dale and I took the kids and we went and watched, you took the whole family, but we watched Bumblebee.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that a little bit. First of all, how did you like the movie?
I thought it was good. I thought it was one of the better movies that Transformers has in their arsenal.
Okay.
But it was funny. There were some things that we got to pick apart in everything we watched.
Yeah.
So the one thing in this movie was on Cybertron. This is a prequel. So on Cybertron, before they even heard of Earth.
Okay, let me go back. This is where the movie starts. The movie starts in Cybertron.
Starts on Cybertron and that whole battle with the Decepticons taking over the planet. And in this beginning, before they even know of Earth, because they send Bumblebee to Earth to hide out until they're ready to regroup and fight back. So in this whole time that they've never heard of Earth, they're already designed as these vehicles, the cars. Bumblebee's already a yellow car. Optimus Prime's already a semi-trailer, but they've never been to Earth, never heard of Earth, and we're just supposed to accept it.
Yeah, because Cybertron is a planet made of metal, basically, and everything's gray and silver. But yeah, there are these colorful planes and helicopters and cars and motorcycles and so that part was kind of weird.
There was in one of the first movies,
the very first one.
Yeah, the very first one actually. They come to Earth and they're just gray metal machines with no design to them, and they have to find a vehicle, scan it, and then they can turn into that because they scanned it.
Yeah.
So for them to be these vehicles that they've never even seen before because they've never been to Earth on Cybertron was pretty. What the hell?
Yeah, that threw me off.
I
think I want to watch the first one again. I think I have the DVD downstairs. I might have to watch that first one again just to. Yeah, because it kind of threw me off, and I mentioned it to my daughter afterwards, and she said, Dad, you're looking too much into it, and I said, well, there's a lot I could really look into and break down to this movie that didn't make sense, but that part was just kind of really weird to me.
But I did like the lead role that girl played.
She was awesome.
Was her name Haley or?
Yeah, Haley Steinfeld.
Who's a pop singer.
Yeah, and I didn't know who she was when I was watching it until I saw the end credits and I saw her name, and I've seen her name obviously in songs. So like, oh, okay, I didn't even know.
And I recognized her from Pitch Perfect because our daughters love that movie.
Yeah.
So I recognized her from
that was cool. I mean, obviously we got girls, and so to take them to see this woman in the lead role, they really dug it.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool. And obviously I love the nostalgia fact too. The fact that Bumblebee starts off as in the movie, not starts off, but he becomes the Volkswagen Beetle, and that's what we remember him as when we were growing up. And also, the movie takes place in the 80s or 90s. 80s. So that was
you could relate
awesome.
with I'd say we were about the age of her little brother. Her little brother. In this movie, I would say we were about his age during this time frame.
His character was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was.
It was pretty funny. And there was some really
like
good
the
parts.
TV dinners with everyone with the TV trays and
in front of the TV.
But there was a lot of nostalgia
TV.
in that movie.
A lot of nostalgia. I was noticing the wallpaper in the kitchen, some of the appliances. I really liked the nostalgia factor in it. It was awesome. John Cena did a good job.
John Cena did a really good job.
I thought he did a great job.
Yeah.
So it was fun to see, the Autobots and Decepticons come to Earth for the first time. They beat I'm not going to get into it, but you kind of get an idea.
But they left it open because now it's like, okay, this movie takes place in the 80s.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, what happened? Because it shows Bumblebee and Optimus Prime, everybody's like met up and everything.
And everyone's kind of getting together.
So everybody's met up, but now it's like, okay, what happened during this time frame and when the first Transformers movie came out?
When did the first Transformers come out?
I want to say early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
No,
right?
maybe like...
I'm gonna take a look while you keep talking about
Okay.
it. Let's see if I can catch it in time.
But yeah, so now we got to figure out. Well, now they have to make more movies to figure out what happened during this whole open time frame.
Yeah,
that was it's a big gap.
So it's gonna be awesome. So talking about anyway, I can't find it fast enough, so we'll just end it. Oh wait, I think I 2007.
Yeah.
So like mid 2000. So 2007 was the Shiloh LaBeouf.
Yeah, and then I did like the first movie. I liked it, but then after that he was just overplaying his role.
He's an overactor for sure. How about the one with Mark Wahlberg?
It was okay. Like the action was good.
Action was good,
but it wasn't that great of a movie.
Yeah, I just like almost anything with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, right.
It seems like
I did like his character in there, but it was just the action was great in it. It just wasn't that wonderful of a movie. That's why I think this new one, the Bumblebee movie, probably beat all the other ones.
Yeah. So speaking of women taking a lead role, like in Bumblebee, we just saw a new trailer was released for Captain Marvel.
Yeah, and that looks badass.
That one it looks great. It shows a little bit more scenes. It shows some trailers parts that you've seen before, but also a couple new parts.
And then Coulson's in there. Coulson and Samuel L. Jackson together, and they both look pretty young, and they don't look CGI.
Yeah, they don't actually, which is nice because like when Superman was CGI, that looked weird. In Justice League.
Oh, with his face?
Yeah, because he had a mustache and they had a kind of CGI in it.
Yeah, and he looked cartoony.
It's so weird.
Every time they do that with, ever since they did that with Terminator, with Arnold Schwarzenegger, bringing his old character back as a young man, he looked cartoony as shit, but everyone was like, oh my god, that was so cool. And even to this day, I mean, how long ago was that movie? But even to this day, it still looks super cartoony.
Yeah. So, I mean, this will be another great role. This is Marvel's first woman leading role. And again, I think that's great, because I really want my daughter to get into, like, the, these type of action movies. And maybe for them it gets too much like, oh, it's always the guys. It's always the superheroes are the guys. And so now this will be great. It's Marvel's first turn. DC did it with Wonder Woman.
And that
turned out awesome. Like I might have been more excited than my daughter for Wonder Woman, and she was pretty excited about it. So Captain Marvel, which is an interesting choice for Marvel because she's probably not the most recognized woman superhero.
No, she's not, and so that was it. Well, you had asked me before we recorded about who, like, what woman role would be, and I was saying Jean Grey, the Phoenix, in which she is getting her own movie. Yep. But I did hear that movie is not going too well. I heard that they're not happy with how it's going right now.
I like the idea of what they're doing. Obviously, they're going to pick Sansa Stark, Sophie Turner, to... I don't know if she's ready for that main role yet.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't see her as that big of a lead.
Yeah, or a big of a draw. Maybe that might be it too.
So I don't know what their problem is with the taping of this movie, but they're not too happy from what I've read.
Yeah.
And speaking of Marvel's, the CEO or whoever he is, President, he just said,
Jason Fahey,
he announced that because of the merger with Disney and buying Fox, that they are now merging the mutants, the X-Men. They're all going to be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe now.
So that'll be interesting. X-Men and Avengers meeting up.
I hope they don't redo the characters.
Like new actors?
Yeah. Because they just brought in the new people, but now that Disney owns them, they can pretty much do what they want with who they want to play who.
Interesting. You just opened a whole new can of worms with that one.
But they already have movies in the production already with Fox. So with the Dark Phoenix Rising, I don't know if they're going to like just end it completely and bring in new people, or continue with it and then bring new people after, or just continue with who they have.
Yeah, good point. That'll be now you got me kind of thinking now. What are they going to do? So, all
interesting, right?
Yeah.
But now Fantastic Four is coming back. Silver Surfer.
Fantastic Four is coming out again?
Well, because Fox owns them. And now that the Fantastic Four played a huge role in the Infinity War.
Oh, okay.
But
it's too late for that now.
It's too late for them now. But I think I don't know, whatever phase they're going to go through, they're going to probably bring them in.
Because the new Marvel comes out in April, I think, right? The new
yes.
Endgame is April?
Yeah.
So Captain Marvel's March.
March and then April.
Ooh, it's going to be a good springtime for movies.
I think there was going to be a lot more in April, too. There's going to be a lot of good movies coming out.
Okay. All
right.
You
know what we haven't seen yet, though, that we needed to? Was Holmes and Watson.
Yeah.
We got horrible reviews, but you have to know their comedy.
I think I'm going to like it.
I think I'll like it.
I'm actually not surprised it got bad reviews. Like, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I was expecting that because of the corniness and how stupid their humor is.
Yeah.
But knowing how stupid it is, it makes it funny.
Right. So that'll be...
Oh, you know what else I seen? That was the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, yeah, you just watched that.
That was amazing. That was so much better than I thought it was going to be.
Now, you're a big Spider-Man fan. Is this the best Spider-Man movie? Some people have said that.
It can't be because it's not a live-action movie. It's a cartoon.
Okay.
You can get away with so much more in a cartoon.
That's a good point.
So, as a movie and the feels, movies give you feels.
Okay.
This probably was one of the better ones.
Okay.
If not the best.
So you cried in it.
I could see how it could make people cry.
So you cried in it.
I didn't cry. But I could.
Then you're not a real man if you're not crying.
I have feels though. I'm telling you about my feels.
All right. What is your favorite Spider-Man movie?
Ooh, I think the Homecoming one, the new one.
Oh, okay.
With Tom Holland.
All right.
He's probably my most favorite Spider-Man actor.
Okay.
I mean, I really did like the first one with Tobey Maguire. That's a classic, and that's always going to be a classic. But I think Tom Holland outdid him.
Okay.
And
interesting.
And I did like how in that movie they just bypassed the whole origin story. They're like, okay, we've done this way too many times. You know what happened, so we're just going to start it off from you knowing where we're at.
Okay, yeah, okay.
And then what was funny is Into the Spider-Verse, they were introducing these new Spider-Men. Different Spider-Man from different universes. And every time they brought them in, it was like, instead of giving you their whole origin story, it was just like a quick 1 minute rundown of like, okay, we're going to go through this one last time. And it just gives you a quick breakdown of their, like, who they are, where they come from, and like kind of their role, whatever. But
and there was a Spider Pig?
There was a Spider Pig.
Okay. Every time I think about it, I think of The Simpsons.
But yeah, and I guess, so there was a Spider Pig comic. It wasn't just made for the movie. I thought it was just made for the movie. There was a full-on whole comic about Spider Pig.
I have heard of that. That's funny. I wonder if it came from The Simpsons, I wonder.
Probably did. Because of the whole thing, I'm sure it did.
That's funny. So on our social media, you posted about another show you watched. I haven't watched it, but it was about, what was it called?
Surviving R.Kelly.
Surviving R.Kelly.
That dude is a trash. That dude is scum. I've never knew it was that bad. I mean, I knew he was a sicko when he married Aaliyah. Because
wasn't she underage?
Yeah, she was 15.
Yeah.
She was 15, and we were around that age. I think you're about the same age as Aaliyah, and I was just a couple years younger. So when that happened and that whole news thing came out on MTV News with him marrying her,
I was almost
MTV News. Oh my gosh!
And I remember nostalgia coming at me.
I remember going, "You son of a bitch! She's our age. she belongs to our group."
Yeah, that was weird.
I actually took away my chances with her. You son of a bitch!
I actually forgot about that.
Yeah, so ever since then, I knew he was a creeper.
Okay,
like that right there, and then you never really heard much about anything for years, and then here came out these accusations and things, and him going to court for all these things,
peeing on girls.
Yeah, the video came out him peeing on girls, but nothing ever happened to him. But you find out from the show why nothing ever happened.
So what's happening? Like are like these people coming forward?
People are coming forward.
Okay.
That have actually escaped his sex cult like living conditions.
What?
So he goes and finds these young girls.
Okay.
That's his MO.
All right.
And they talked about it. He would go to the high schools when he was an up and coming artist. Even
he
was already in his 20s. He was going to the high schools and hanging out, posting up, and he was getting himself kind of well known as a R&B artist. Okay. So he was well known in Chicago.
All right.
So he's going to these high schools and he's finding these young girls to come sing for him and stuff. And
got it.
He's a predator. He's a predator. So he's getting them to feel open to him and everything, and then he starts breaking them down mentally, and then starts physically abusing them, and then he starts making living conditions for them where they had to ask to leave the room, they had to ask to do anything, they had to call him daddy at all times.
Whoa, weird.
It was crazy. So they were like held against their will. And then in the show, like there's some parents right now, because there's women living with him that their parents haven't talked to their kids in like 2 years because the way the living conditions are.
Where'd you watch this on?
Lifetime.
Lifetime, okay.
It's insane.
So are there like any allegations against him right now?
There's a ton of them.
Okay.
And there's people coming forward and everything. And do you remember the one artist? Her name was Sparkle.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
She came out with R.Kelly, and they did a duet together. And they did all these, they did some songs together, and then all of a sudden she just disappeared. You never heard of her again. Because what happened with that whole story was she introduced R.Kelly to her niece, who was 12 at the time.
Okay.
And she brought her around, and all of a sudden her niece was just there at the studio without her there. And she's like, what the hell? And then it just got worse and worse and worse.
Wow.
And yeah, it's just a whole mess of a whole line of women whose lives he's destroyed. That's there's crazy. A lot of people coming forward now.
Good. There's
some people that are still like involved in him, like I said, where they haven't spoken to their parents for so long. There's all of them are underage, and even when he finds out some girls who lied about their age, he would be cool with it and just keep telling people you're older than you are.
Man,
sicko.
I hope he
gets everything. And then he just announced just barely because of the show that came out. There's now all these charges going against him.
Okay.
And then now more people are like, hey, where's these girls? Where's these girls? So now he just announced that he's gonna move to Africa with all his girls.
Oh, man.
Crazy.
And his music sucks lately too.
Yeah, well, with all these allegations that came out, he released some song saying, I admit it. It's this whole admission, trying to like play it off like it's no big deal.
This is my admission.
He is crazy. So come to find out in the show that he was sexually abused as a child. And so were his brothers. And
does it say by who?
They do end up saying it was God damn, I can't remember who or what, but it was I think they were abused by both men and women.
Huh.
Different times. But anyways, instead of surviving that and knowing to what's okay and what's not okay, he went and destroyed other people's lives. Knowing what that did to him, he's going and putting that on other people and predator, being a predator. It's such a son of a bitch.
Oh,
I hope he goes to prison, and I hope he gets all the dicks. I hope he gets all the dicks in prison.
All of them.
Yeah.
That's. Ugh. Well, let's change gears then.
Yeah, because that was
let's talk about some men's stuff.
Man stuff.
Like football, American football, real football. So over the weekend, a couple exciting things happened. Let's talk about college first. So I'm so excited. Clemson beat Bama. I don't like Nick Saban or Alabama.
Isn't that the same two teams that are always there every year?
Clemson, no. I mean, they have a good football program and they've done well. They've won championships before, but it always seems like Alabama's there.
Yeah, it's every year.
And I know people do get sick. Like I'm sick of Patriots always there,
yes.
and Tom Brady, and so you do get sick of it. And same with basketball. Like I'm sick of the Cleveland Cavaliers and Golden State always there. But anyway, Stephen A. Smith on ESPN said Clemson saved. I think it was him. He said Clemson saved college football because people are getting kind of sick of it. I don't like Nick Saban, and I'm gonna go rewind. 10 years ago, almost to the day, was the Sugar Bowl, Alabama, Utah.
Okay.
And no one, Nick Saban, Alabama media, no one was giving Utah any respect. We had a killer team, a killer program.
This with Urban Meyer?
No, this was Whittingham, I think. Now you got me confused. Now I'm second guessing myself. But anyway, our program was awesome, and we swept the floor with them. I was watching some highlights the other day to kind of remind me, and man, we had an awesome team, and they played awesomely. So I'm so glad Clemson won. Congratulations, and I'm really glad that now we do have the playoff program in college. I wish it was more, because we just kind of picked like the top 4 teams and they play. So I would like to see it progress from 4 teams to maybe 8. But and if it was 8, Utah would have been this year in it probably. No, they wouldn't have. But in that year, when we won the Sugar Bowl, we weren't. They didn't have the playoff option. So I'm so glad Clemson won and Alabama lost. I don't like Nick Saban. I don't like coaches that don't show emotion. I don't know why. Like Belichick,
yeah, I was just gonna say
and
Belichick.
They win, so I can't hate on it too much. They're the winning coaches, but I hate when they're just emotionless. I don't know why it bugs me.
They're either quiet or yelling.
Yeah, or they just look like a statue. They're just sitting there.
Yeah, they're just quiet. Yeah,
I like when coaches get into it. Like I like when there's a bad call and they're mad, and I like when there's a touchdown, they're jumping up screaming. So I mean, I like an emotion. I like an emotional coach. That's just me.
Like the feel-good stories on movies.
What do you mean? Like when
the coaches, where they're feel-good coaches,
and they put a lot of personal effort into their players. Aw. But then NFL wild card playoffs were just over the weekend, and Chargers won their game.
Yes,
go Chargers.
Okay, now I'm gonna have to start watching. I was holding out all season. I'm like, F this. And I've been holding off all season because I was like, they're not even going to make the playoffs. What's the point? And they did. And they advanced. So now I'm going to have to start wearing my Chargers.
I feel like such a bandwagon, but it's the same team, so it's all right.
Yeah, right? I already have all the gear.
It's my team.
It says San Diego, so it proves it's old.
Oh, actually, my shirt underneath the sweater is a San Diego Chargers shirt. I didn't even think about it until just now.
How would it be if the Chargers and the Saints make the Super Bowl?
That is my dream Super Bowl. Yeah. Out of the players that out of the teams that are left, that's my dream scenario.
With Tomlinson, I wish Tomlinson was still there.
Yeah, I mean that would be my dream scenario at this point. I don't think the Chargers will get past to the Super Bowl. What's that?
You think they're going to get past the Pats at all?
It's hard to say, but I do think Saints have a good chance to go to the Super Bowl this year for the NFC. Mm-hmm. AFC, I'm really liking the Chiefs too. I think the Chiefs can do it. Mm-hmm. I know everyone wants to say Patriots again because they're in the playoffs, but I think the Chiefs could do it. So
I just don't want to see the Patriots.
Yeah, I think most people are with you except for bandwagon Patriot fans because most Patriot fans around here are bandwagon fans.
Not all.
I'm going to say it. I'm gonna say it. I know the truth.
Yeah.
but yeah, my perfect scenario would be Saints and Chargers. Drew Brees just set a new record this season, and obviously a former Charger. That would be a fun game to watch. Mm-hmm. I mean, this past weekend, Chargers beat out the Ravens, kind of put a whooping on them pretty good.
Yeah, they did.
And Eric Weddle, former Charger, also former Utah Ute. So that was a fun game to watch. I actually, for a moment, put on my Chargers Weddle jersey because
people had Weddle face masks there at the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. With the long beard?
Uh-huh.
He trimmed up his beard.
I didn't notice it, but yeah, his face mask that people were wearing.
That's funny.
Had the beard.
That's funny.
Long beard.
So I'm excited. I've always been excited when football season comes around. I've been more excited this year about college than NFL, but college is now over. Utes lost not only the Pac-12 championship, but then they lost their bowl game, and they should have. They had a good lead. They started off good. Turnovers killed it for them. I'm gonna pull this card. However, we didn't have our top players in the game. Our top quarterback, our starting quarterback, was out. Running back and wide receiver, all three were out on offense, and our top defensive player was out. So I'm going to pull that card and say that's the reason, because it makes me feel better. I'll be honest. But really, if we had our starting players, I think we could have kept it going. Who really knows? But anyway, yeah, so I'm excited. Chargers, NFL, back in the mix. college is over. I'm gonna be watching the playoffs this weekend.
Yeah, I'll be watching.
And it'll be televised. So that's a good thing too.
I know, huh?
It'll be easy to watch. So the Chargers play Sunday, and I don't remember what days everyone's playing, but it's the getting to the division round right now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. What do you think
sports?
about with Saints and Chargers if they make a Super Bowl together?
I think that'll be epic
It would be
for
awesome.
Charger fans. I think
Yeah.
Charger fans everywhere were like, we've been waiting for this moment for a decade.
And the Super Bowl is going to be, early February, the Super Bowl is going to be at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That's in Atlanta. So I think it's the first Sunday of February, I believe, I think it's the 3rd.
Yeah, usually it was the beginning of February.
And it's going to be Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I'm excited because I'm actually going to Atlanta this summer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And I heard it's state-of-the-art. Like, it just got built. It's like state of the art because with the old Georgia Dome where the Atlanta Falcons played, they blew it up or they imploded it, and they just rebuilt it. And I've seen pictures; it looks amazing, state of the art. So I think the Super Bowl this year, if the right teams are in it, they get people excited, and the new stadium, I'm excited for the Super Bowl. We should do something
Like what?
like a party,
Yeah.
with food and beers.
Yeah, beers.
So sticking with sports.
Pacquiao and Freddie
Pacquiao.
Roach team back up again for this fight coming up on the 19th.
So January 19th, right?
Yep, this
So
month.
Adrian Broner,
and this
Manny Pacquiao.
this fight is not getting any promotion whatsoever. I haven't seen shit besides what Pacquiao posts on Facebook.
Well, I want to hear my opinion on that.
What?
I think pay-per-view's dead. I think it's
It's
dying. It's
I don't
dying.
think it's dead, but it's dying.
It's
Boxing
dying.
is almost
Boxing is boxing's almost dead. 2 reasons, in my opinion, why boxing's dead.
dead. Crookedness.
Yeah, they did it to themselves.
Exactly.
They did it to themselves. They
Greed.
Greed and like you said, it's crooked, totally crooked. It's fake. A lot of things are fixed.
It's so hard to watch when
Referees are paid, not refs. Judges are being paid.
judges get paid, but it's so hard when you I love watching boxing, but it really puts a damper on your, I guess, your affection for the game or for the sport when the judges completely blow it. When it's obvious, when you're watching a fight and somebody's just getting their ass handed to them, and it's obvious to everybody that person just lost, and then the judges score it as a tie or they give it to the person who obviously lost.
Yeah.
That's just when it's just, okay, I can't respect the sport anymore.
Well, I love boxing. And when MMA came out and UFC came out, I mean, I grabbed a hold of that too. I mean, I've talked about it many times on here. I love MMA. And, watching the sport, and I trained in it for a while. And, just watching it and training in it, I kind of see it a little bit differently. And I really got into it. And after watching, the full contact and the chess match on the ground game, and then I go watch boxing, I'm like, ooh, this doesn't excite me anymore. Like, they throw a couple punches and they clinch up and they have to get separated. And
See, it depends on the fighters, though.
it does, but it seems like a lot of fights that I watch are happening like
Mayweather. That's what happens when you watch
Mayweather.
Mayweather.
He's a counter fighter, so he's not aggressive. He just kind of tucks behind his shoulder, and when someone throws, he counters it.
But then when you have these big fights like Triple G and Canelo,
Yeah.
and those are just an all-out war, like those fights are when it's like, I love watching this. Because whenever I watch MMA, the ground game, it's kind of boring. But when they're standing up and going blow for blow, like, that's the shit I like.
But you know what's
that's why I
interesting? Like someone like me that I watch it and I trained a little bit in it and I watch the ground game. For me, it's like it's a chess game.
It is.
And
I
get
understand it, but for the person watching, it gets so boring.
For the average person watching, yeah, I could see that. I think a real avid fan that's been watching it now. I mean, MMA has been so popular now for so long. If you really are watching it and you see things, you start understanding what's happening down there.
You can, especially if you train in it, you can respect what they're doing on the ground game. But a lot of times there's a lot of thinking and you can't move because the other person's holding you. So there's a lot of non-movement there going on when they're on the ground because they're thinking and they're trying to move and they're restricted. So it gets so boring until,
Let's start training.
Okay.
Your hernia surgery is good. My back's feeling. I tweaked my back
about
again.
2 more weeks so I can get real physical.
All right, I think 2 more weeks my back will start feeling better too. My back, tweak my back again. We should go Absolute MMA.
Okay.
Right here in West Jordan, we should go.
Let's tear shit up
and roll. It'll be fun.
Smash Brothers.
But yeah, I mean, that's, in my opinion, that is why no one's talking about this fight. I think with that last Triple G Canelo fight, that's the last fight that's going to be talked about big. I can't think of any matchups that's going to be a big draw anymore.
I mean, there's some decent light heavyweights, and there's some really good middleweights and cruiserweights.
Sure there are. You tell me the name, I bet you I've never heard of it before. I guarantee it.
But, I mean, I think the golden age, even this last little era of boxing is now over, and you only have a few people left that are actually good and worth watching and bring in crowds to pay-per-view. It's like really small. It's dwindling bad. But yeah, they did it to themselves.
Yeah, they did it to themselves. So I think it will. Well, HBO just aired their last fights.
Yeah, they're no longer going to be involved with boxing whatsoever.
It just Showtime, I guess, is now.
Showtime's the only one,
and then they'll just do pay-per-views, I guess.
Showtime pay-per-view, and then they have like random little fights on like ESPN's.
I'm curious how many subscribers of Showtime there are, because I can't think of like really great series on Showtime, where HBO has some of the best series ever. So HBO is a big draw. Mm-hmm. That's why it was a good. I think boxing was good. Had a good home there.
Well, that and Jim Lampley was such a good commentator.
Oh, good point. Yeah, I mean, he's basically he retired when And then his closing statement was
Max Kellerman. He works for ESPN also, so he's set. Jim Lampley, I'm sure he can retire and be just fine.
I mean, I think he did. He did his farewell through HBO, but yeah, he was good. You're right about that. Mm-hmm. And so with Showtime, they're killing themselves.
Well, they're like they have a big deal with Mayweather, so.
Oh, Showtime does, yeah.
Yeah, Showtime has a big deal with
the money team.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I think that's what's keeping them going.
So, all right, let's talk about Mayweather. He just did an exhibition.
In
Tokyo.
Tokyo, yeah.
On New Year's. It was in Tokyo, so the hour difference, it was kind of like New Year's, like early morning, or New Year's Eve, or something like that. With the timing, it was just kind of way different. But anyways, the exhibition with Ryzen, it's an MMA division in Singapore, I want to say. I'm not 100%. I'm not 100% on that one. But anyway, one of their champions, I don't know how this even got brought up. And it just kind of got brought up, and it was more of an exhibition boxing. Yeah, but he knocked him down. Mayweather knocked him down a couple times. So, I don't know. It was getting comical.
Got something like $9 million off of that.
Yeah, $9 million. So, it's a little comical.
Yeah. Still, that's quite a bit of money for an exhibition fight.
Yeah, so everyone was kind of making like a big drop. I was like, no, it's an exhibition round matchup. Nothing big there. But I want to talk about MMA a little bit and how great it is. I kept wanting to get my daughter in MMA just to self-defense. She wasn't having any of it. She wanted to do ice skating instead. I said, well, skates are sharp. I guess I can defend yourself with that. But anyway, there's a fighter. Her name is Poliana Viana from Brazil. And Brazil in the favelas is not a safe place.
No.
And Brazil's a little corrupt themselves. And anyway, she was... I want to say she was robbed, but she was not robbed. Someone attempted to rob her, and she kicked the shit out of him.
Yeah, unrecognizably.
Yeah, I saw the mugshot of this guy. He is banged up.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't if someone was trying to mug me and I caught him. Oh, I wouldn't stop. I'd beat the shit out of them.
Yeah,
I would keep going even after they're knocked out.
Oh yeah, so this was an awesome story that I want to kind of tie in when I read this, and you brought up the fact bringing Pacquiao. I said, I want to incorporate this story because I think MMA is killing boxing besides them doing it to themselves, and this is a good point, to self-defend yourself. So I'm so glad this girl is a small girl. I don't know the size of the guy, but she beat the living hell out of him. Mm-hmm. And I'm so glad.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I thought that was an awesome story.
Well, there's another story while we were talking about sports. Pre-workout. Some guy passed out in the gym from his pre-workout. Started having heart problems.
Cardiac arrest, right? Or they put him in induced coma.
Induced coma, yeah.
Yeah, because he was like seizing out on the gym and the ambulance.
And they said that both him and his wife were both committed to the gym for they're the healthiest they've ever been. And the only thing, because
she trains high intensity classes.
Mm-hmm. She was training doing classes, and then he was doing his own thing on the treadmill or something. Yeah. When it happened. But yeah, he probably must have just overdone it. He must have taken a lot.
Maybe too much.
Pre-workout.
You know what? And someone here at the University of Utah weighed in on that. And, their recommendation was black coffee or tea. And that's what we talked about on our New Year's episode.
Pre-workouts are pretty new. In the last 5-6 years. Because I'd never used them before. And when they did come out, the first thing I tried was C4. And I was like, whoa, this stuff is crazy. Because it makes your face tingle. It makes you feel like you just have all this energy.
I don't like that.
Oh boy, do you crash hard on C4.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I would take it at 4 or 5 in the morning, go hit the gym, and then by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon,
you're crashing.
I was hitting the wall hard. I was just like, I can't go on.
Yeah, like I said, I do black coffee or green tea, and to sweeten it up, I use a teaspoon of honey, natural, because honey actually your body breaks it down slower, gradually, versus instantly, and then you crash. Yeah. So I do. I like honey or agave nectar.
Yes. And what was I going to say about it? Shit, never mind.
I remember what I was going to say. The glycemic index. So that's what it does. It breaks down over your body, so you have that sustained energy a little bit longer.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Whenever I do look for a pre-workout, I will find a stimulant-free one. So I am not a fan of the stimulants like C4 when it makes your face tingle or your arms tingle. I hate that.
Doesn't sound good.
It's not. It doesn't feel right, and it just makes you feel anxious, like you have to do something, like you're tweaking or something.
Well, especially when you get to in your 30s and your metabolism slows down a little bit, it doesn't break it down as fast either.
Oh man, one time I drank one of those Bang, those new
Bang
drinks.
Energies,
and because Bang when that first came out, as just like
a root, right?
No. It was like B12 vitamins, B6, B12.
Oh, okay.
That was it. And it was like 2 flavors. Now there's multi-flavors, and they're like with some have creatine and some have stimulants, and there are pre-workouts or I don't know everything about that what Bang has. All I know is one time I had drank one, and then some friends came over, and I was trying to do something where I was pouring something in something else, and my hands could not stop shaking.
Interesting.
I looked like I had Parkinson's.
Wow.
I was pouring something in.
I'm
so sorry. This looks so weird, you guys.
So stay away from those pre-workouts if you don't know what you're doing, guys.
Yeah, if you don't know what you're doing, or if you're not familiar with it, or if you're a little older, maybe talk to your doctor first and see if your body can handle it, if your heart can handle it.
Probably not, though, if you're older. Just saying.
Well, I'm saying, our age.
We are not old, damn you.
Okay, let's say mid-30s. Not old, but mid-30s.
Okay.
Old enough to have silver pubes. If you have a silver pube, then you should consult a doctor about pre-workout.
You nasty. All right. Speaking of pubes. So, news just came out. Obviously, we're foodies. Shake Shack is coming to Utah.
I've never tried it.
I wanted to in Vegas, and
I heard that's the closest one to us.
I think so. It's on the Strip actually, or really close to it. But yeah, I was at a hotel and there was a Shake Shack right around the corner, and I wanted to go to it, but Etna was just not having. She's like, I'm not in the mood. I want to go to a buffet. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to argue that. But anyway, I wanted to go to Shake Shack. I've heard a lot about Shake Shack, and I've never been. Actually. So I was right in front of it, and I still didn't get to go to it. But anyways, coming to Utah, it finally was announced early 2019 is what they said, so probably the next few months. And I was just asking if you know where it's going to be built, and you had no idea.
No,
It's in Sandy. I don't know if you knew that.
No.
So Sandy's almost like dead center in the valley, closer to the south end of the Salt Lake Valley. And it's going to be built at the old Valley High School.
Oh, on the corner there on State Street.
On State Street.
That place looks haunted.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just because it's abandoned. That's
yeah, because it's abandoned and small. I'm pretty sure there's ghosts in there now. Just
but
because
no,
it's just
because it's abandoned, so no one's died in there, but just they wandered in. But in that area is really nice. That area is really nice. So I mean, they've got a Costco and a Shields.
But that old school is kind of
Starbucks.
like the bunghole in that whole little area. That's just like a little shithole.
That's probably why they're gonna redo it, because everything around there is built new and nice. And right now it's abandoned. Like there's weeds everywhere, and there's probably vines on the building. That's what I picture. Like the windows are like fogged up through just film of grossness.
Sandy's little bunghole.
Yeah. So and now I think car dealerships use it
to store their cars,
to store extra cars, because there's a lot of car dealerships around there as well.
I have a lot of memories in that parking lot.
So yeah, I mean, you're right. It's just like an abandoned building in this nice area of the Salt Lake Valley. Everything around is new and nice, and there's rundown, abandoned old school.
It's not even a big school. It's tiny.
Well, so I read the history. It started off as an elementary school, and that's how it started. And then I don't know what happened. I'm guessing funding or expansions, growth. And then it became Valley High School. So basically, the delinquents that couldn't finish high school, basically went there.
It was pretty much summer school, and
it was summer school.
And the kids that couldn't handle public school.
Yeah, because they were, I don't know, who knows
hood
what
rats.
their issue was.
They were being hood rats.
Hood rats. So
but I just hope the Shake Shack is not a total letdown when it comes to their burgers. Like, you know what was a big letdown for me?
What?
White Castle.
Okay, yeah.
I was like, I had tried some of the White Castle frozen burgers, because we don't have a White Castle in Utah.
Yes.
And this was before they even had a White Castle in Vegas, because Vegas has one now.
I've never been to it, okay.
But
I've never been to White Castle.
But I was in Ohio, and we were like, oh, there's White Castles everywhere. And we were passing one, so we're like, let's go. Huge letdown. Huge letdown. It tasted like oily nothing.
Yep.
And then, oh boy, did it come out like oily nothing.
So I did the same thing. I bought some frozen ones from Walmart.
They're okay.
They're okay.
They're okay.
I had to put mustard on mine to make it taste better.
Of course, because there's nothing on it.
There's nothing much to it.
I mean, the idea of it where they're
almost slider-like.
It is. They're all sliders. Yeah. They're sliders, but their idea is they cook the patties on top of onions, so it gives it this onion flavor.
I dig that.
And but that's their whole shtick. But I was excited to try it, and I was not impressed whatsoever. Okay. It was a total letdown, and there was nothing really on the menu that was appealing. Just their sliders, and their sliders were oily shit.
Yeah, I don't care about that. We talk about some more franchises that are here around us, and tell me what you kind of think about them. So, The Habit.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
I've had it, and it's not one that sticks out like you need to come back.
Yeah, for me, I'm not a big one. You know what one was a disappointment to me that I didn't like?
Huh.
Freddy's.
I've never been yet.
You've never been, huh?
But I've heard, you're not the first one to tell me this.
They try to go off of like they're a steak burger place.
Yeah, steak burger and custard.
Yeah,
frozen
their custards are pretty good though.
I'm not a fan of frozen custard.
What else is around? So change In and Out.
Crown Burger. So Crown Burger is
I'm talking about franchises right now.
Oh, franchise?
Yeah.
Well, so it's a franchise. Kinda.
It's not. In and Out.
It's not a local franchise.
No, it's not. Family owned. So In and Out.
They're okay. I mean, they're overrated. I think they're overrated.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Okay.
There's really nothing great about them that stands out, because even their fries, I know their fries are supposed to be great because they just chop them in the house and fry them right away. They're not.
I like their fries.
They're okay. Like they're not that. I prefer other fries over their fries.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of their fries. Their burgers are okay. When you get it animal style, you kind of get sick of the burger before you finish the burger.
Interesting.
For me, anyways. When I get it animal style, when it's normal burger, it's okay. It almost just tastes like a homemade burger. Like if you made it at home and it was like the best burger you made at home. Home burgers are never as good as a restaurant. Am I right?
Well, mine are pretty good.
But they're never the same as a restaurant.
Yeah, mine are better.
But like In and Out just kind of tastes like a homemade one.
Okay.
Like you made a really good one. And that's kind of what In and Out reminds me of.
I mean, I like In-N-Out. Yeah, it's definitely not my favorite, but I do like it. How about Five Guys?
Five Guys are pretty good.
Okay.
I like Five Guys, especially because there's so many options. You can build your own. You can pretty much build your own burger without getting your hands dirty. And I like their Cajun fries. Their Cajun fries are the shit.
They're the best.
I prefer those 10 out of 10 over In-N-Out fries.
Yeah, their Cajun fries are so good. I love Five Guys. That's my daughter's favorite place. She loves Five Guys.
I'll tell you one right now. Okay. That's a franchise. That's a good burger. It's a classic. Okay. The Whopper.
Okay.
Yeah, I seen you at first. You were going to be like, ew, you gross son of a... But then you're like, wait a minute. Whoppers are alright.
Okay, I did like them. I got food poisoning one time at Burger King and I have no taste to go back ever again. That happened in high school, by the way. I got food poisoning in high school and I have no interest to go back to Burger King ever again. But I don't think the Whopper got me sick, but I did like the Whopper.
And it's one of those burgers where I went years without having one. Uh-huh. And there was a special going on where there's like 2 for $6. Okay. And I was hungry and fat. So I'm like, I'm going to go get 2 Whoppers right now. Okay. So I go get them and holy shit, those were damn good. I couldn't even finish the second one. I ate one and was full. But it was good. And I was actually surprised. I was like, okay, you know what? The Whopper is still pretty damn good. I went years without it and I'll probably have one a year from now.
Well, because I've been going to more better places. I don't know how much I like a Whopper now, but it's been a while. So
it's been a while. And here's another thing. I actually went and got another Whopper not too long after that at another location. Okay. And they overdid the lettuce and it wasn't as good because there was so much iceberg lettuce on that thing.
Did you get an FOB?
Fruit on the bottom?
What? Fruit on the bottom? Fresh off the broiler.
Oh, they're always fresh off the broiler.
Any other franchises ones you can think of?
The Big Carl at Carl's Jr.
Oh, Carl's Jr., yeah. I haven't had one from there in a while, like the $6 burger. It's been a while.
The Big Carl is a play on the Big Mac, and it's better.
So double patty?
Yep. It's bigger and it's better.
Interesting, okay.
I actually prefer... I think Carl's Jr. is probably one of my most favorites out of all the chains.
All right. I think what we need to do is we need to go and get a burger from each of these franchises place. Try them out.
It's a lot of burgers.
It's a lot. Like, we don't eat the whole thing, though. You know what I mean?
So we just share burgers?
Yeah, we just share one. I don't even know if I can eat half of every single one of those either. But
maybe we should bring more people with us.
Maybe. That was a good point. Cut it up. And, that'd be good to see what other people think. And I want to do the franchises, and then I want to compare it to some of the local ones here in Utah. And maybe wait till Shake Shack opens, because that's a franchise, and we can compare that one.
We still got to do the donuts.
Yeah, but let's stick with the topic here. So I want to do the burgers. I want everyone else's feedback what some of their favorite burger joints are. So hit us up on Buko Boys on Instagram and Facebook. Or you can email us, bukoboyspodcast@gmail.com. So I'll have Dale, you post it out there. I want to get people's response on their favorite burger joints.
So I'm going to say, tell the Buko Boys what's your favorite burgers and fries.
Now let's talk local. I think I can think of like 3 places off the top of my head. The first place you were just kind of mentioning, like Astro Burger, Crown Burger, Apollo Burger.
All the same.
Yeah, they're all the same. They're all like Greek owned. I know Astro Burger is family owned. It's not a franchise. Maybe not yet, but could be. But what do you think about because they're all very similar.
I think they should branch out of state because they don't have these Greek burger places in California or Southern California. Maybe we should.
But what do you think about their burgers?
I think they're really good.
They're one of the best.
Especially their like the Apollo burger or the Astro burger where it's pastrami.
Or the Crown Burger.
Yeah.
It's like their signature burger.
The signature burger, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's pastrami burgers.
Pastrami on top of beef patties.
Yep. Oh, those are good.
Those are pretty good.
And I like the shredded, like really finely shredded lettuce that they use.
Yeah, they mix onion and lettuce and
it's shred really finely shredded. And they use like the fry sauce on it too. Yep. It goes really well.
It's good. Oh, you know who claims they're the beginning of fry sauce is Arctic Circle.
Oh yeah, they said I don't think they invented it.
That's what they say.
They're probably I believe them that they're probably the first ones to actually give it away in a restaurant.
Yeah.
To offer that to the patrons, because mostly everybody would just make it themselves. Oh, but I would I would put money on it. They were probably the first ones to offer it as a condiment.
Yeah. You know what I just thought of? Hires Big H.
I haven't been there in years.
It's been a while. They have good root beer.
They make their own, don't they?
Yeah, I think so.
But I haven't had one of their burgers, I want to say, in over 20 years.
It's been a while.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, I want to hear people's feedback, what they think, and I want to do it. When Shake Shack opens, I want to kind of compare. I want to compare.
Okay.
So that might be fun. That might be fun.
So is that an episode?
I think so.
Yeah, that's a pretty, I'd call it. I think that's
All
good.
right.
Well, everybody, thank you for listening to another episode or watching, depending on how you're putting us in your day. We'll appreciate it, and we'll catch you next week, folks.
All right, take care.
Peace.